Welcome to Color Fucking Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective. I'm your host Lance, my co-host Jordan. Yo, we here, and I've totally forgot to do this. So you sat down and watched the epic that is Black Panther 2.
Yes.
So what time of day did you go? So I ended up going. So I went with Frankie.
Okay.
And we went at like 11, so that we could get out at like 3 or 4 because like it's pretty long, you know. How did you? Where did you?
I saw it with my wife. We went and saw it together. We saw it the second weekend it was.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, like 2 weekends ago, maybe. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the time this comes out, it might be a few more weeks, but
right.
Yeah. So we saw it I think the second weekend it was out. So not that first Friday, but the second we saw it
right.
second Friday it was out.
Yeah. So, all right. So, let's get right into it. So, this is going to be a very, not shallow, but a very surface reaction to it. Maybe we'll come back and revisit and do a bigger review to this. But let's talk about it. What are some highlights? Some things that you like from this movie? I'll tell you off rip. I liked, why am I forgetting the name now? It's not Ironheart. But essentially... Who's going to be in Machine Wars? Is it? It might be Ironheart. Yeah, it is. So Ironheart. The actress that plays her, and actually I should bring that up too because she was really good. I thought so. They have a scene where she's on screen with Shuri, and and so I thought that their chemistry, at least in that scene, for the couple scenes that they were only together for that. I think it was maybe 10 minutes of that movie, but I thought it was a really good kind of like mesh or whatever. And also, like, you see all the black women on screen saying from different kind of right. So like Shuri's the young Wakandan, right? Ironheart is the young American, and then you have like this older Wakandan. It's like I don't understand either of you.
Old grizzled warrior,
right?
Who ain't got time for her Gen Z people.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I'm curious. What do you? I mean, that's one of my highlights. Like, what did you like about it?
I love the movie. I think one of my favorite things is when Namor first takes her to
the underwater world. Yeah.
I forget the name.
Okay. Well, I should actually.
Or something like that. I forget the name of the city. But I mean, it's Atlantis. But,
right. Pretty much.
It's pretty much Atlantis. It's Mexican Atlantis. So when he takes her down there, that was. I mean, they did such a good job with portraying the underwater world.
Yes.
It was so dope. Not to mention the fact that I'm freaking hooked on that song that they were playing during that that scene.
Yes.
Just vibes. You got that ethereal kind of underwater world kind of vibe. And it's in Spanish. Love that song. I started listening to it because I saw the movie a couple weeks ago. And the Spotify Raps just came out.
Yes.
That song
is so you'll talk because you just had it just in rotation.
But yeah, I thought they did a tremendous job of showing the underwater world.
Yeah.
As much as they did an awesome job of introducing Wakanda in the first one, you open up the shield and you see this vast society, the city, that's hidden from view.
Right.
I feel not to the same level because it didn't have as much of a punch, but still they did a fantastic job of portraying the underwater world. Yeah,
I was hoping to find it in here, but I got the Wikipedia article. I think there's also. So I want to mention, it's weird. I appreciate the action. So here it goes. I'll start as I start going into what I think about this movie. So the first half, the action in the first half, top tier, right? The French trying to low key get one over on the Wakandas by sneaking in or whatever. That was hilarious.
Sorry, real quick, this Wakanda is the name of the city.
Yes, which is a funny name, but
that scene was great.
Yeah,
they marched them into the
this. So they start the movie off really strong with that, and then they have the whole we have to go get Ironheart because of she's in danger and stuff, or we're gonna take her to the morgue. But I think they have the whole chase scene. I appreciated that, and it's displaying Ironheart's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it bootleg Tony Stark gear because that's pretty much what it is. It's like
it was. Sorry, at the beginning. Yeah.
It's like dollar value. It's like
she got his suit off a Wish.
That's what it was. It was rough. It was. I mean, she nice with it, but that just what I mean. Like sometimes you ain't got it, so you just got to use what you got.
What you got to
do.
You
I remember my button used to break on some of my pants when I was a kid, and my mom be like, "Well, you just put a safety pin in." That was pretty much her fit. That's the equivalent. But yeah, I mean, so yeah.
I liked also the tribute that they did to Chadwick at the beginning.
Loved it.
I thought it was super tasteful. I liked how they did it in the movie.
Yeah, because it's also true to comic, sorta. It's like halfway true to the comic lore. The comic, he doesn't die; he just gets sick. Yeah, and so they're able to still at least pull from that as well. So it's not all the way. It's not them taking too far of a left turn just to to make this tribute.
Yeah. But I mean, I think of course you have to.
Yes,
because Chadwick was. I mean, he'll forever be iconic for that role.
Yeah,
and so I think the second movie did a good job of portraying that and honoring him in that way.
Yeah, because
obviously, it's not the same without him.
Yeah, no, you can tell. I think, but they're transparent about it. They've all said, I mean, we're here because this will honor him. But we off. This was our guy. This was our leader. Yeah. So I think the fact that they spent that much time in the beginning of the movie, to play that tribute, I don't know. It's beautiful, and it's also, I don't know how often we have to do this for Marvel or just these kinds of actors that are great and prolific. But we talked about this. This might have been our first episode after our first hiatus was about the first Black Panther. And so so it's kind of eerie talking about it now. But as we're had another hiatus coming back and it's just us, I think that Chadwick, especially Civil War. Black Panther, that guy will fade anybody, and I don't really care about your status, where you're from, and so I think So all I like to say is I appreciate the respect that they paid to him and the time they spent during the movie paying homage to him.
For sure. I think the other thing I liked was how they did such a good job of portraying the indigenous culture.
Yeah.
In the settings. So,
yes.
You have obviously the backstory for Namor. I'm not even going to attempt what his name was because I'm going to butcher the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But I liked what they did with his backstory. He was fantastic. I loved him in that movie.
Yeah, I think.
I think from jump he was super great.
I think he was great. Only thing I didn't like was some little wing feet, bro. That looked a little weird.
That's the character.
Yeah.
The man has wing feet.
That's
weird. But I think too, because obviously that's huge. Because a very intentional phrase in that movie sets up the next phase for Marvel when he said that he's a mutant.
Right.
Because he says in the movie because I was.
Well, they be.
He's talking about the wings on his feet. I mean, that sets up the X-Men. That sets up.
Yeah, I just hope that they.
That sets up everybody.
Yeah, I just hope that they actually. So they did this, right? They did this in all the TV shows. They did this. Yeah. They did this little X-Men nod. I'm I don't need a nod. I want to see them. I want them back in the. I want them in the MCU. Okay. Yeah. But you're right.
I mean, Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine.
Yes,
movie, so
that's gonna be entertaining to watch for sure.
Yeah, so technically we've already had 2 X-Men in the Marvel universe because
oh yeah,
Colossus and what's her face? No, it wasn't Jubilee, was it?
No,
I don't remember what her name was. In Deadpool.
Yes.
So we've technically already had the X-Men in the MCU, but
yeah. But not
really. They were side characters in somebody else's movie,
right?
Like,
and it always and also because of the movie, like because of Deadpool, it's almost like it's tongue in cheek that they're even there. It's like
exactly. They were like, oh, here's some X-Men,
right?
Like he looks at the audience like, there's X-Men,
right?
You can't have them. Like,
yeah. The only smoke I'll say, and then like obviously this last bit we'll get on this, but the only smoke I have for the movie is ending plot. I think but like I think this is for me, I generally have an issue with these kinds of movies and how they choose to kind of like, all right, we're gonna wrap everything up. I think they rushed it. I think they what's the word? Even Jay Stoops used this in that review of Wednesday, but they undercooked the plot at the end.
Sure.
So I think like they spent a really good job. Like they had a really solid even first 2 hours.
Yeah.
Actually, all of that going into the underground, the underwater world, and then and after that it gets a little wonky, right? Wakanda gets water bombed to death, and that's like that's what takes out Wakanda. Water, like, oh man, like if we just flood Wakanda, and it's like that's interesting.
That's can't say that on YouTube. But.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little and the bleep out or whatever. Oh man,
bleep.
Right.
Trying to drown black people.
Yo, it's so yeah, I think that got weird, and I think the ending battle is weird because I appreciated it, but also it's like, y'all know plot wise this doesn't make sense, right? Like it doesn't make sense to drive a big boat in the middle of the ocean.
Like you're gonna go fight them on their home turf,
and you're still vulnerable. Like you're not more powerful than you were. Yeah. Like, and there's some stuff there, but other than, that was kind of like my thing. But overall I still enjoyed the movie. Like I wasn't like,
I love the movie. I think my biggest beef with the movie is I actually just don't really like Shuri as Black Panther.
Yeah,
I
feel you. I like Shuri as Shuri. Yeah,
I like Shuri as Shuri. I don't really like Shuri as Black Panther.
Yeah.
And obviously they set her up. Shuri is Black Panther at one point in the comics.
Right.
So it's comic accurate. I don't know. It's just hard because you had Chadwick Boseman, who was literally like the quintessential Black Panther. Like the man killed it.
Yeah, and they didn't want to recast.
Yeah, they didn't want to recast.
This soon.
Which
understandable.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't think necessarily it was the right decision, but I get
it. Right, exactly.
But and so that's why the last fight between Shuri and Namor kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. I'm like because let's think about this, right? I think again, what made Chadwick's Black Panther, it was because Civil War happened.
Yeah.
And it's also because Black Panther, the first initial Black Panther movie. So it's like you get to see him in a suit, you get to see him interact, you get to see him actually have Shuri has never had to have. They make her face a lot of, and I get it. Part of this is her being a leader or whatever, but she's not the queen,
right?
Per se, she's not the ruler. Even afterward,
she kind of was after her.
Well,
spoilers, mom died.
Right, but even at the end of the movie, right, they do the whole she's excluded from fighting for the throne or whatever the case may be, and obviously she's not, but she's given all of this within this movie after zero Avengers. She's not in Avengers developing into this character. She's not in Civil War developing into this character or the first Black Panther.
I think they set it up for her not to be the Black Panther.
Right, early, yes. I think you're right.
Because of how they ended it with her
Young
not
T
being part of
that ritual,
the ritual, because that is the ritual to inherit the title of the Black Panther.
Right.
And so I think they set it up to where she won't be the Black Panther going forward.
Right. And for that cutscene too, I won't speak on that, but
else, right, exactly. Cutscene at the end, which I like it, but at the same time, I was like, seems a little too easy.
I just
it was low hanging fruit, kind of. Here's an emotional tribute. He's
and also and I'll say this, and and if you got more thoughts, you can. But I'll say this: I don't need a adult this. I won't spoil it, but I don't need a Phase 7 talk. Like I don't need like if you go do something about this. Y'all better just make time pass in the entire MCU. Make it happen. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna spoil it. Make it happen and like not have us be old and gray and we got to go to the movies just to see the conclusion to this. Like I'm over that. So y'all got so that's my only issue with that too. Is like you're introducing something, but y'all want us to like follow time as if it's real time.
Right.
Like that's sorta. They don't skip. They don't do big time skips for the MCU.
Really,
you know.
Yeah, not really. You're right.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, honestly, like I love the movie. Like my wife and I both loved it.
Yeah, I still would refer to people to watch it because I do like it.
Yeah. I think this is my last thought.
Yeah, go for it.
I loved. Again, I mentioned this briefly before, but like the native representation.
Really good.
This was a movie about 2 different brown tribes.
Yep.
In fisticuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. I think it's great. I think for one, the first Black Panther was fantastic for Black folks.
Right.
It's great for African culture. It's great for African Americans.
Great
for lots of folks. Second Black Panther movie, still great for the Black community, but this elevated the Latino community.
Yeah, in a way.
The guy that plays, I'm so sorry, I forgot his name.
You talking not Namor,
the
right?
Actor for Namor. He's fantastic. He's hilarious. Like if you watch like his clips, his videos, like his interviews,
I can't pronounce his name, but I can't pronounce his name, but I think that's my man.
Oh yeah, it's Tanaka Marshall.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He was fantastic. Like I loved him. Like he was a super believable character. Played the role really well.
Yeah.
Like had a good vibe about him. Like he has swag.
Yes. Yes.
Had a good vibe about him. He had like kind of like a camaraderie kind of sense of humor sometimes.
Right.
But then when he got serious, like it was serious business.
Yeah, and he was good cold shoulder.
Yeah, and so like I loved his character, and I feel like them portraying them really well in that way just did a super good job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but like I got nothing. I think you're right on all of that. But yeah, man, definitely go watch that if you haven't watched it. I think it's hitting streaming too soon. Maybe within the next month or so. So either which way, if you want to wait or if you can catch it on $5 Tuesday, depending on where you at, you do that. Or pay full price. Still a good movie. Just go early because that joint was long. But anyways, y'all know the slogan. Stay colorful. Peace.